Hey y'all, today I have homebound people on my heart. Those people who can't get out and those people who maybe are in a wheelchair or in their bed at home. For whatever reason they can't get out. This may be a sad time of year for them and they may not know how to connect. Anyway, I have a little story that I want to read to you that was inspirational to me. And when I read it, I just felt like I had to share it with everybody. So here we go. The name of the story is A Christmas Light in the Window. It was Christmas Eve, and Mrs. Evelyn Harper sat alone in her cozy armchair, gazing out the frosty window. The world outside was painted in soft white snow, and the glow of distant holiday lights shimmered like tiny stars. But inside it was quiet, too quiet. The kind of quiet that made the ticking clock seem loud. Her children had called earlier, wishing her a Merry Christmas, but they were miles away, wrapped up in their own holiday bustle. She understood, of course. Life moves on, she whispered to herself, pulling her shawl tighter around her shoulders. With a sigh, she stood up and shuffled to the kitchen. A single teacup sat on the counter waiting for her. She brewed herself a cup of peppermint tea, the gentle aroma filling the air. As she sipped, her eyes wandered to the small box of Christmas decorations on the shelf. It had been years since she had bothered to put them up. Why decorate for one, she had thought. But tonight something stirred in her heart. Maybe it was the warmth of the tea or the distant sound of carolers echoing through the air. She set down her cup and reached for the box. Out came the old ornaments, a little angel with a chipped wing, a paper snowflake her grandson had made years ago, and at the very bottom, a small strand of Christmas lights. Her fingers lingered on the lights. Just one, she muttered, plugging them in and draped them over the window frame. They blinked to life in a soft rainbow glow, casting little bursts of color onto the snow outside. She smiled just a little. As she gazed at the lights, she noticed something. Across the street, an elderly man was sitting by his window, his face lit by the faint glow of a single lamp. He was alone, too. For a moment, they caught each other's gaze. Evelyn raised her hand in a gentle wave. To her surprise, he waved back, his face breaking into a smile. The next evening, just after sunset, she noticed something new. Across the street, his window now had a string of Christmas lights, too, bright red and gold, flickering cheerfully. Evelyn laughed aloud, a light, joyful sound that filled her little house. The days that followed brought more surprises. Neighbors along the street began hanging lights in their windows, one by one. Each evening as the sun set, the street slowly transformed into a lane of twinkling color. Evelyn sat by her window every night, sipping tea, watching the lights dance like fireflies. She no longer felt quite so alone. On Christmas morning, a soft knock came at the door. She opened it to see the man from across the street, holding a small tin of cookies. "Merry Christmas, Mrs. Harper," he said with a warm grin. Her eyes filled with tears, but this time they weren't tears of loneliness. "Merry Christmas," she replied, stepping aside to let him in. That night, the Christmas lights on the street shone just a little brighter. The end. Anyway, I just wanted to share that story. It inspired me. If you know of someone who is alone, maybe you could bake them some cookies or take them a card or go by to see them. And another good idea would be to visit the nursing homes and maybe take something by, a little plushie or something to give out. I don't want to forget these people, and just let's remember them in our prayers, because it can be very lonely, of course, all year, but the holidays strike a little bit harder for some people. Anyway, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Love you.